Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping that your Easter weekend was an absolutely fabulous one. If not, well, as we are fond of saying each and every Monday, right about this time of the day, good Lord willing, you will still be here when the next one, weekend and Easter weekend for that matter, rolls our way, and you will have the opportunity to try it all over again. We start today's show on a somber note, as the entire athletic, education, and social community in the capital city is in mourning. In case you missed it, last Friday, it was announced that longtime head football coach at Capital Senior High School, Roman Bates, passed away at the age of 86. For those of us that are longtime high school football aficionados and longtime Baton Rougeans, Roman Bates was one of those figures in our society that just did so much, particularly for black kids here in the capital city. Roman Bates, which I did not know until I read WBRZ's coverage of his passing, was originally from Memphis, Tennessee, moved here to participate in track and field and football at Southern University, where he played defensive end and tight end for the Jaguars. He was inducted into the Southern University Athletic Hall of Fame in 1992 and was also inducted into the Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame as a coach in 2017. You have to be familiar with the history of the capital city and segregation to understand the impact that Roman Bates had in Baton Rouge. I was fortunate enough to grow up in this city at a time where there were only 3 high schools that people of color attended: Scotlandville High School, McKinley High School, and of course Capitol High School. Southern Lab was all black, but it was semi-private at the time, so a little differential there. But Roman Bates, you can tell a lot about a coach when you talk with the young people that came under their tutelage. Many times you will hear young people say that a coach helped me to understand the importance of education. Many times you will hear young people say that a coach had the light come on for me as far as being a good citizen. Roman Bates was the kind of individual that some young people, when you ask them today, what did Roman Bates mean to you? They will tell you without any hesitation, the man actually saved my life. I was going down a self-destructive path. I was getting involved in criminal activities, and he approached me, told me what he saw in me, encouraged me to come out for the team, and took me under his wing. I'm not going to go so far as to say they don't make them like that anymore, but Roman Bates was a part of a very special breed of individual back then. I got to know him because he was at Capital Senior High School in athletics, while my father taught at Capital Senior High School in the ROTC program. And there were legendary individuals there, like Sergeant Durio, who was there, and Roman Bates, and of course, my late father, Sergeant Edward C. Buggs. They were individuals that cared, and they didn't mind showing you how much they cared. Yes, they were strict disciplinarians, but they were that way because they cared. This was an era, and all you baby boomers know this, this was an era where adults weren't concerned with being your friend. They were concerned about shaping, making, and molding you into a man that would be able to pull his own weight and be a productive member of society. 34 years in high school athletics, all but one of them, actually 35 years, all but one of them at one school. The Capital Senior High School, and it's no longer called Capital Senior High. I want to say it's Capital College Prep or something of that magnitude. But that community is mourning today, as is the entire Baton Rouge community, because it is the loss of an individual that cannot be overstated. He is a man that dedicated his life to young people, and he is a guy that is certainly sorely going to be missed. By the way, visitation is scheduled for 3 to 7 p.m. April 9th at Wilson Wooddale Funeral Home, and a private service is scheduled for the next day. Coach Roman Bates, legendary Coach Roman Bates, dead at the age of 86. He is gone, but in no uncertain terms, he will be remembered for his contribution, for his caring, and his humanity for a long, long time to come. An update that we would like to pass along to those of you that are wondering, what is going on with my stimulus check? I know a lot of my neighbors, co-workers, friends have all received theirs, but I'm still waiting to find out what is going on with my stimulus check for round 3. Well, the IRS has announced that they are currently sending round 3 of the stimulus checks, in case you have not gotten yours just yet. The third wave of checks started going out last week. Some people have already reported on Reddit tracking the stimulus money for that $1,400 payment, and it is set now to be received by April 7th. Those of you that have not filed tax returns, as well as those of you that receive Social Security, if you've not filed your taxes for 2019 or 2020, there was some, for lack of a better phrase, negotiation that had to take place between the Social Security Administration and the IRS. There was a snafu where that information was not forwarded from the Social Security Administration to the IRS. That has all been taken care of now, allegedly. This week's payments will include those of you that receive Social Security, SSI, and SSDI benefits. However, veterans receiving Veterans Affairs benefits, if you don't file taxes, your payment date is still up in the air. If you are also one of those that was underpaid in previous stimulus payments, you could well be receiving your plus up payment. These are automatic adjustments for people who qualify for more money than they got the first time based on their 2020 tax returns, reflecting a change in their income or a new dependent, such as a baby born in 2020. These payments are largely going out through direct deposit. You don't have to file an amended tax form to receive it. Also, the Department of Treasury and IRS are continuing to send out stimulus money during this round through paper checks and EIP cards. Now, here's the important part. You can track the progress of your stimulus money to your bank or in the mail to find out exactly where it is and when you can expect to receive it. Unfortunately, however, they will not, in using the Track My Stimulus tool on irs.gov, it will not tell you how much it is going to be. A lot of folks who didn't receive their federal benefits and didn't get a direct deposit by March 24th, you will receive a stimulus payment in the mail as a paper check or EIB debit card. However, some folks may see an electronic transfer appear in their bank account as an adjustment, and again, it will be called a plus up. So if you are expecting that and the stimulus payment, you check your bank account and you find out, hey, there's some extra money in here. Don't be alarmed. Don't put that to the side thinking they made a mistake, I'm going to have to pay this back. Look for the plus up designation. That means that you are receiving money that you are entitled to receive in the first two rounds of stimulus, but for whatever reason didn't receive that. Again, for those of you that receive Social Security benefits, if you have not already received your $1,400 stimulus payment, then you can expect that to be direct deposited and accessible on April 7th. It is, of course, Monday, and we are heading to our first commercial break of the show. And when we come back, you know what that means. That's right, out in the truck, get the graphic ready. Time for another edition of Now That's Just Stupid. That's up next as we continue the Clarence Bug Show here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network
and Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
The first big sale of the year is here. The Dream Garage Spring Event is underway at Team Honda. For the first time ever, get $12.50 customer cash on every new 21 Passport, or get 0% for 60 months on every new 21 Pilot at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Mandafine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Mandafine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Mandafine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Buck Show. If you are new to the show, new to the station, new to the area, in response to the ever-increasing level of stupidity among our fellow Americans, we have instituted a segment that we call, Now That's Just Stupid. Now, you'll notice when you see the graphic, it's not spelled S-T-U-P-I-D. Stupid is regular stupid. But these folks have taken stupid to an entirely different level. Hence the spelling S-T-O-O-P-I-D, as in, now that's just stupid. We start this segment with the combination Louisiana and Florida. And of course, we all know by now about Florida Man, how they just go out of their way to make Louisiana look like it's inhabited by a bunch of Einsteins. Well, here's a combination of both out of Orlando, Florida. This is reading from the website BR Proud, the NBC affiliate, Channel 33/Fox 44 in Baton Rouge. A Louisiana man arrested at Disney Springs after refusing to have his temperature taken and is scheduled to be in court this morning. 47-year-old Kelly Sills of Baton Rouge was arrested outside a Disney Springs restaurant after he skipped the temperature check and refused to be screened. Orange County Sheriff's deputies didn't agree, and they arrested him, who at one point complained, quote, "I spent too much money on this Disney vacation to be arrested." The Orange County Sheriff's Office has now released body cam video, and it shows Mr. Sills as he is seen arguing with deputies as he's taken off the property. At one point, claiming, "I'm a stockholder in Disney." Eventually, Mr. Sills tells deputies that he is now willing to get his temperature checked. And from the video, it appears deputies said, "Oh yeah, we'll take it," in jail. According to court documents, he has pleaded not guilty to a misdemeanor trespassing charge. When you spend that much money to go from Louisiana to Disney, and it's not like they told Mr. Sills, "Okay, stand in this line over here. We're going to have the nurse come by, and she's going to give you the jab. She's going to give you the vaccine, and you go on about your business." All they wanted to do was check the man's temperature. You spend this much money to travel from Louisiana to Orlando for a Disney vacation, and you end up in jail just because you wouldn't let them take your temperature? I don't know about you, but to me, sounds like a classic example of, now that's just stupid. Of course, he will have some time to think about the error of his ways, and from there, hopefully, he will govern himself accordingly. Meanwhile, back here at home, Crowley, Louisiana. Great town, by the way. Got some relatives that live in Crowley. This one is as tragic, although it could have ended a whole lot more so. It's just as tragic as it is stupid. An investigation into a man from Oberlin, Louisiana, has now blossomed into federal charges after police received a call about a guy overdosing in his car. Jeremy LeBlanc is now facing drugs and weapons charges stemming from a search of his vehicle late Saturday night, where, by the way, his wife and 4 children, ages 12, 10, 2, and 1 month old, were inside. According to Police Chief Jimmy Broussard, police had initially responded to a call of a male who had overdosed inside his vehicle. As police began their search, LeBlanc's wife told police that there were narcotics inside the cup holder and loaded firearms in the vehicle. Police allegedly found powdered cocaine along with fentanyl, 2 9mm handguns, and an AK-47 with one in the chamber and the safety turned off. The AK-47, by the way, was located in the lap of the 10-year-old, and again, one in the chamber and ready to fire. As police attempted to safely remove the weapon from the child's possession, the boy refused to hand it over, and a struggle ensued. Quote, "This weapon was live, and thankfully, our officers are trained for moments such as these, and they did everything right. If one thing would have gone wrong and that weapon would have discharged, everyone inside that vehicle and near the scene could have been killed." After the struggle, police were able to take possession of the weapon. Mr. LeBlanc, charged with possession of a firearm in the presence of a controlled dangerous substance, 3 counts, by the way, and illegal use of a controlled dangerous substance in the presence of a juvenile, 4 counts. The children were taken to a local hospital. Law enforcement say they expect that the Office of Children's Services will be called to take custody of the children within the coming days. Listen, if you decide as an adult that you are going to take your disposable or whatever income, for that matter, use it to OD in your car, that's one thing, as tragic as it may be. But when you have a loaded AK-47, one in the chamber, safety off, in the lap of a 10-year-old, and obviously this 10-year-old, in refusing to relinquish this weapon to law enforcement, already has some preconceived notions about law enforcement. I can't imagine that there is a single baby boomer or member of the greatest generation watching right now that would think, if that had been me in that car with a loaded AK-47 and the officers there wanted that weapon, if I would have refused to hand over that weapon to law enforcement, what would have been in store for me? It truly, truly, truly is a different day. My sincere hope out of all this stupidity is that that 10-year-old will be placed in a home with some responsible adults. Because at 10 years of age, in the middle of a felony-loaded situation, at 10 years of age, if your response is what this 10-year-old's response was, as much as it pains me to say it, somewhere down the road, there's going to be more interaction with law enforcement from this 10-year-old. And the fact of the matter is, it does not bode well for how it is going to end. Children of that age are very impressionable. Children of that age take their cues from their parents. Children of that age, unless they are straightened out and put on the right path, I think we all know further down the road what's in store for them and what's in store for the rest of society. Just saying. To do that with a 12-year-old, 10-year-old, and 2 other kids, one of whom is a 1-month-old child in that car, you might have managed to elevate yourself all the way to the top of the list of things that we summarize by saying, now that's just stupid. Of course, now, just when you think you've seen it all, come next Monday, more than likely, there'll be another one to top it. Just saying. Right, Marty? Marty's nodding his head in agreement. Yes, sir. Bottom of the hour break. Got to get her done. Want to talk a little bit about cancel culture and where in God's name is all of this going? That's up next on the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masks help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask. Wash your hands and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up. Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, speaking of, now that's just stupid, the cancel culture in this country continues to gain more steam and more steam and more steam. It's ironic, just this weekend, I'm flipping through the channels on, it's either Tubi or Pluto TV, one of them. And I run across a couple of documentaries on Nazi Germany and how the whole Nazi movement was able to progress to the point where it did, and how individuals fell so easily prey to willingly going along with silencing the opinions of individuals, entities, organizations, if you will, that they didn't agree with. It is so very disheartening to watch this happen in America, because for those of you that don't know, that is what separates us from a lot of places on this planet. The mere fact that regardless of your opinion and regardless of who likes or doesn't like your opinion, you have a right to have that opinion and to express it without fear of repercussions. Well, recently, because Georgia, the state of Georgia, decided we're not going through another election where we have so many irregularities involved, and you all know about the state of Georgia and the recent presidential election. We need to tighten up our laws that pertain to voting, particularly as it pertains to voter ID. Fact of the matter is, for anything of any importance at all in this country, you need a picture ID. so that people will know that you are, in fact, who you say you are. Unless you have a face full of gray hair, you got to have picture ID just to buy a pack of cigarettes or tobacco products. And I don't know about you, but I don't equate tobacco products with being nearly as important as voting. But I digress. Major League Baseball, now bowing to the cancel crowd after boycott threats were issued by a number of major organizations, Delta Airlines, Coca-Cola, to name but a few. And of course, Major League Baseball, in the interest of apparently going along to get along, deciding last week, well, we're going to move the All-Star game, we're going to take it out of Georgia. Despite the fact, however, that the majority of people that are going to be harmed by this move are people of color. You know what's so ironic? Delta Airlines, one of the first ones to holler, oh, you talking about you got to have ID to vote. Black people, that's discriminatory against black people. But Delta Airlines requires picture ID to get on their planes. Ironically, Major League Baseball, when you go to pick up your tickets for a game, can we see your identification, please, so that we'll know you are the person that these tickets actually belong to? Oh, and by the way, did I mention, Major League Baseball's corporate offices are in New York City. Marty just said, New York City? Get a rope. Major League Baseball's offices, corporate offices, are in New York, which, by the way, has more stringent rules for voter ID than the state of Georgia does. So is Major League Baseball now going to cancel itself and move its corporate offices out of New York? I mean, if it's good for the goose, it ought to be good for the gander. Just saying, if you're going to move the All-Star game from Georgia, you should also demand that Major League Baseball move their corporate offices out of New York. Why? Because New York's voter IDs laws are even tougher than the ones in Georgia. But I don't guess that would fit the narrative. You know what's so ironic here? Major League Baseball, in succumbing, and of course the whole corporate woke crowd, apparently are of the opinion we know what's better for regular Americans than regular Americans do, which is why they apparently haven't bothered to look at the polls, or they've looked at the polls and decided, oh, those stupid Americans, they don't know what they believe. Any poll out there with any credibility whatsoever, the overwhelming majority of regular folks like us say, well, yeah, you got to have ID to vote because we've got to ensure the sanctity of the system. We've got to be sure that the folks pulling the levers, the folks casting ballots, We've got to be sure that they are who they say they are. If nothing else, 2020 taught us a whole lot of stuff. COVID, unemployment, virtual learning, go down the list. 2020 taught us a whole lot of stuff. But you know what else 2020 taught us? We've got some holes in our voting systems in this country. We have instances after instances after instances of flat out fraud. Now, some of y'all are scared to call it what it is. Thank you, God, I ain't one of them. There is fraud aplenty. It's all over the place. And the fact of the matter is, again, to do anything of substance in this country, you got to have a photo ID. We're not just talking about buying a freaking pack of cigarettes here. We're talking about exercising one of our most sacred constitutional rights. And the overwhelming majority of people, and I'm not talking about just white folks, black folks, Latinos, Asian Americans, we all agree, dude, you got to have ID, because we deserve, as Americans, to have the right to know that this person that voted here is the person that said, yeah, this is me. Okay, how do we prove it? Picture ID, please. It ain't that hard to figure out. Now, what you need to ask yourself, and if by chance you end up with the opportunity to ask the heads of these major corporations, if the overwhelming majority of regular Americans, people that vote regularly, like you, if the overwhelming majority of them say, well, yeah, to ensure the sanctity of the system, you got to have a picture ID, ask the heads of these corporations who died and left you in charge of knowing what's best for me. How is it the overwhelming majority of Americans say, well, yeah, we need ID to be sure that these folks are who they say they are? What are you trying to pull when you are going against the will of the overwhelming majority of the American people? Listen, y'all, you do not have to be the brightest bulb in the chandelier to know it when you smell it. If you've stepped in it enough times, and you've heard me say this, walk through the grass to get to your car. Get in the car, put the key in the ignition, or push the button, whichever type of vehicle you have. Crank the car up, turn on the air conditioner, and you go, son of a gun, I just stepped in some bleep. You don't have to raise your foot up. You don't have to look at the bottom of your shoe. You know what it is just from the smell. Once you've stepped in it enough times, you know it. Son of a gun, I done stepped in some again. If you don't smell this coming from a mile away, either one, you're not nearly as smart as you think you are, or two, you got one hell of a sinus infection. Go see your virologist real quick, because something's wrong in here. Just saying. But then again, Coca-Cola, Delta Airlines, hey, y'all know better than all us stupid Americans, despite what the polls tell you we think. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and we wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Mandafine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Mandafine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Mandafine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
The selection is deep, and the time to get a used car is right now from the Team Automotive Group. Shop and save on over 125 certified vehicles and choose from more than 700 pre-owned vehicles at any of our team locations. Or log on anytime at teamautouse.com.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back for the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. My dear friend Marty is fond of looking at the upheaval in our country and the disturbing direction many of our social and societal trends are going in. He is fond of referring to them as birthing pains, speaking of our representative republic. Whether you are Democrat, Republican, Independent, what have you, whatever political leanings you have, I think there's one thing that all of us can agree on. That is childbirth. And I know the women watching right now will back me up on this. Childbirth is arguably the most painful, sustained event that a human being can experience in life. But out of that terribly painful event comes the most beautiful expression of the human experience, a child. So Marty is fond of looking at the things that we are experiencing in our country right now and saying that it's birthing pains. It is something that we necessarily have to go through in an effort to be the beautiful being that we have the potential to be. Now, that being said, on the other side of that coin, and it has shown itself to be particularly true in recent memory, there's an old adage that says, everything that looks good to you ain't necessarily good for you. The whole cancel culture thing, and just prior to that, although, ironically, now that I think about it, it could very well fall under the umbrella of the cancel culture, is this whole defund the police movement. In the wake of the tragic, horrific death of George Floyd, a movement took hold to defund the police. And as is the case in so many things in our country, all it takes is one. Regardless of how idiotic it is, all it takes is one to do it. And the next thing you know, whoop, everybody's in on it. Now, Clarence, how can you say that? Well, I'm glad you posed that question. Go back through the list of viral challenges, and you'll get all the proof that you need. How many times has one idiot done something, filmed it on the cell phone, posted it online, and the next thing you know, every other dummy on the planet is right in line behind them doing the same idiotic, stupid stuff? Y'all know I'm not lying. You see it all the time. Well, right after these geniuses came out with defund the police, other cities started jumping on the defund the police bandwagon. Well, again, everything that might look or sound good to you ain't necessarily good for you. For example, more than 20 major cities in America have reduced their law enforcement budgets from one scale to another, all in an effort to appease, all in an effort to better serve the citizenry. Well, the results are starting to come in, and it really makes you wonder. Now, first of all, the number of cities that went along with this, I think we all know who runs those cities, what political party holds sway in those cities. 20 cities voted to defund the police. Oakland, California was one of them. Since the defund the police movement took hold in Oakland, homicides, murders have risen 314%. You know what's so ironic here? Oh, and that's in conjunction with a 113% increase in assaults with firearms. What is so ironic here? The powers that be sold the folks in Oakland on defunding law enforcement by telling you, oh, this is going to be good for the minority community. This is going to improve the quality of life for people of color in the minority communities. Compared to a year ago, 314% increase in homicides, 113% increase in assault by firearms. Minneapolis, where the whole defund the police movement started, not faring a whole lot better. Portland, where they're still rioting and burning the city down. Murders there in Portland have tripled after defunding the police. And you want to take a guess on what community is impacted the most? That's rhetorical. We all know. You don't have to answer it. New York City, already well ahead of last year's murder total after, quote, defunding police efforts. LA, 38% increase in murders, 28% increase just through March of this year. Listen, y'all, we all know P.T. Barnum was famous for two things. First and foremost, the greatest show on earth. Secondly, coining the phrase, there's a sucker born every minute. I just hope you won't be one of them. In just about every single instance where law enforcement has had its budget seriously curtailed or defunded, homicides are through the roof. And guess what community bears a disproportionate burden in this? Ironically, if you talk to most people of color, they'll tell you, man, we don't want fewer police. We need more in our community because we are the ones that are most victimized by crime. But these folks, obviously, apparently, know best for you than you know for yourself. Now, if you are one of those that's still trying to figure out, should we take money from the police department or not? I ask you this, how's it working out for you? Time's up and I gotta go. Marty didn't say a word and I'm 10 seconds short. This is gonna be a brand new record. All right, this day, just like any other, I give it to you. You're right, America, we're not perfect. But doggone it, for this old boy's money, it's the best there is, and God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Either way, ain't a doggone thing you can do about it, either one. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care of each other and take care of yourselves. God bless.